Hello?
Hey guys, Luke here, and today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video. This is the first ever video on my FLS series. So, the FLS series is the funny life stories. Now, you guys love my primary school stories, and I really appreciate that, all the feedback and everything. And I keep getting messages saying, can you do a high school stories? Can you do a high school stories? Can you continue the primary school stories? And I thought, I'll do one even better. I thought, if I go into high school stories, then there's a few stories there, but the best things that happen to me that they're funny are, before school or after school on the weekends. And I'm thinking, why not just make a funny life stories video? Because then I can go back and I can actually remember primary school stories because I ended that series. So I can say things like, I remembered a story where I went to the bathroom and I didn't pull up my pants as I left the door and some kids saw me naked. So I can tell that story whenever you guys want, and I thought I can go back to that. I can tell stories during high school. I can tell stories that happened before on the bus or after, whatever, and I can make a funny series out of it. So I thought, why not? Funny life stories is the way to go. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this series. I've got heaps and heaps of stories to tell you. I've pretty much gonna work really hard on this series to make sure you guys get the best out of my channel and you really enjoy it. So whether you're, I don't know, during school, after school, if you're at home, if it's night, if it's 12 o'clock at night, if you're on the toilet, I want you guys to be able to join my content and go, oh, you know what, I'll go to LukePrankCalls channel. So guys, this is my first story and this is the first time I ever drunk alcohol. So the first time I ever got drunk is a completely different story because the first time I ever drank alcohol, I got tipsy, and the second time I got absolutely drunk off my face, and that is a great story, and it's embarrassing, but I'll tell you guys another time for that one. But the first time I drank, so the first time I drank was with 3 friends, and we went down the back of my property, went camping, we pretty much grabbed the tents, and I think I was about 13, and we went down the back, we set up the tents, got everything right, we set up a fire, and my friend bought some alcohol, so he got it off his brother, and it was Jägermeister. So Jägermeister can be pretty strong, but you usually take it with Red Bull or Wicked, and that can taste really good. And it's like a shot kind of thing. You got to really scull it as fast as you can. So you put in a cup, you put a bit of Jaeger, and then you put some Red Bull, and you just scull it. Now, as we were figuring out how we're going to drink this for our first time, blah, 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 we are kind of nervous. Well, I know I was, they probably weren't, but I was kind of nervous. I was thinking, oh, this is the first time I'm going to drink. And, I know the normal drinking age back then was like 6 years old, but, I strung it out for another fucking 7 years. And I just wanted to make sure I was completely ready to drink. And, I wasn't hard enough when I was 6 to make sure I could drink properly. But, I thought 13, bit late, late bloomer, but why not? I'll do it. So, friend poured the drinks, and we're getting ready, and we set up the fire. Now, I took my drink, and it tasted weird, but it tasted all right because there was a fair bit of Red Bull in mine. Not gonna lie. So it was like Red Bull with a bigger hit. Then my friends had it, and next thing you know, we were young, so it was getting in our system, but we were a bit tipsy. We weren't drunk, and we're running over the fire, pretty much jumping the fire like weirdos, and then my friend took the drink. Now, there's a quote off, the Cleveland show. That show is absolutely terrible. It is the worst show I've ever seen. But there was one quote, and I think it was on the ads, and it was always Cleveland going, I sat on my nut. That was the only time I ever laughed during that pathetic show. And I quoted it to my friend while he was trying to scull it. And as I did that, he laughed and he got all the alcohol he had, because we only had a certain amount each, all over his face and in his eye. So I felt pretty bad about that, but it was pretty funny as well. And so we just continued to keep jumping over the fires. Now, as we're talking, talking about whatever, girls, puberty, balls, hair, how much do you have? How much do you have? What do you mean you don't have any? What do you mean you have some? That kind of thing. What happened was we heard noises in the bush. We heard like ruffling and walking, and we're like, oh, what's that? Is that an animal? So my friend, a tiny bit tipsy, gets up and says, oi, who the fuck's that? Come here. And, not expecting anyone to actually be there because, we're out in the back of my yard. Like, who's going to be bloody sneaking around my yard unless it's a pedo, which is kind of scary to think about now. But anyway, he's screaming that, and then he gets back and sits down. About 3 minutes later, after we're talking and, saying what's the best kind of thing to put in your milkshake, I hear more noises. And my friend gets up again and said, oi, who the fuck's that? As a joke. Next thing you know, my parents and my little brother run out of the bushes with masks. Now, we didn't jump, we didn't think it was scary. We just thought, shit, there's alcohol right next to us that we're holding. So my friend puts it under puts it under the log he's sitting on, and my parents run out and they go, oh, and they try to scare us, and we did not get scared at all. I was completely embarrassed, by the way. I thought it was the worst thing ever. And as this happened, they're going, oh, maybe don't swear so much to my friend. And I'm thinking, oh my God, just go home, go do your old parent stuff, please, just go away. And that was completely embarrassing for me. I'm not even going to lie. That was terrible. And then I'm also got to hide the alcohol that was actually there. So it did not work out too good for us at all. This was the first time drinking. Now, lucky they weren't there the first time I got drunk because that was way worse. But first time drinking, parents rocked up trying to scare us, and they pretty much did because, we're trying to hide alcohol, but not in the, oh my God, way. It was not a good moment. So that happened. Was not a good time first drinking, all right? It was not a good time at all. You want to be in a good place where you got to be in about a 50-kilometer radius where your parents are not in that radius. You got to be away from them, guys. So that was my first story for the first time drinking. There is heaps and heaps of stories coming up for you guys that I really reckon you'll enjoy. I want to try to make I don't know if you guys know, but I've actually strung this video along a bit longer because a lot of you guys say you want my videos longer, you want me to talk longer, and I actually agree because I watch someone's video and I go, oh, I don't want that to end at like 3-4 minutes. So hopefully you guys don't mind me making the videos longer. But finally, at the end of these, what I'm going to do is just always ask you a question related to the video. And what happened your first time drinking, guys? Your first time drinking, you could have got drunk. You may not have. You may have passed out. You may have accidentally got, a pill put in your drink by accident. All that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoy the video. Thank you so much for, dropping by and having a like. And I really appreciate it. So see you later, guys. Have a good one.